everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Video Games Ahoy Podcast. Oh my goodness, someone has already subscribed.
What the what's that?
That's what you hear all the time. Anyone watching this after the fact, or listening to this after the fact, will wonder why me and Zach have stopped talking.
Oh,
it's because...
frame of life.
Yeah, it's quite terrifying. But hello, it's the 79th podcast of the year, but most importantly, our selections for Game of the Year. My name is Jonathan Radford, and today I'm joined by Dav Gape, virtually.
Hello.
Dav Weeks, also virtually.
Howdy ho.
But Zach Hamilton is right here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Look at this.
Yeah, I'm doing it too. I'm looking at you here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We were just saying that we were looking at each other. We were ignoring each other in the real world and only looking at each other in the virtual world.
But why break the habit of 2 years?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
2 years.
Like, as soon as we finish this, Zach's just going to leave. That's it. All right. You're right?
I'm good.
You're good. Good. Cool. That'd be a start, wouldn't it? Just murdered Zach on camera. How are you, gents? How are you
Very
doing?
well. Very well.
Yeah, feeling Christmassy.
We are.
The jumpers are on.
Yeah. Let's start with Dav Weeks. Dav Weeks, which one are you wearing?
Because
who are you, Dav Weeks? Who are you wearing?
I'm Christmas Dav. This is my dad's. I have to borrow my dad's jumper for this festive occasion because I don't have one of my own at the moment.
But I love that, and I love that David G made it as a requirement, and but he's right. It should be a requirement. David G, who are you wearing?
I'm wearing something from the Primani 2016 Winter Collection.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Zach, who are you wearing?
I didn't get the memo, I'll be honest. I was on the train here.
He was already on the train.
And so I didn't get... But we got hats, so... Little...
Got Santa hats.
Yeah, that's
how should we wear them? Should we...
I'm doing it
Tis
forward. I want
law.
the camera to get as much of my baubles.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're not on camera, Zach. Let me just change that. There we are. That's a bit better. There we, you can see Zach now. Hey, Zach. I'm wearing Star Wars, and you can see it's just a little... it's a Star Wars jumper, but it's...
Little Darth Vader snowflake.
Yeah,
I've always thought Darth Vader was a snowflake.
He is a snowflake. Look, he gets angry so easily. Just such a baby.
He melts in lava.
Yeah. Such a baby.
Such a snowflake.
Well, that was a start. So basically, this is our Game of the Year nominations. We've got loads of different categories. We'll talk about them. Some of them are a bit... We can move about some of them, but we'll have our Game of the Year, our favourite Game of the Year at the end. We'll keep that to the end, which is going to be nice. Should we just get into it, gents? We can talk about the podcast, I guess. We can say, like, we tend to do this on a Monday if you're listening to us for the first time, but we're doing it on a Sunday because this is the only time we could all get together. And I like that. I wanted us all to be together because we're friends. Anyway.
That was the most pregnant of pregnant pauses. That was delightful.
I'm so full right now of friendship. I just can't. Anyway, let's move on. So we'll start with the first category. We'll start with favorite game from a previous year. There is going to be a kind of second category, like embedded into that. We'll get onto that in a little bit. Actually, maybe I should mention it just in case. So I'm going to be separating mine into two categories. So that's going to be favorite game from a previous year that I've never played before, but then also favorite replay.
Oh, that's interesting.
So if you've replayed a game and you've gone, you know what, I haven't played that in a while. I'm bloody chuffed to that. I'm
up for that.
Yeah. Okay. So and also there's another game as well that Dav Gabe wants to get into as well. We'll get when we get to Davichi, we'll talk about that as well. Actually, Davichi, do you want to start?
Yeah. What was the thing you were doing? What am I doing?
So I was saying favorite replayed game, but you were going to take it on a slightly different tangent, which is totally fine.
Yeah, sort of like most replayable / favorite replay game, because it's not. It does have a campaign, but it's not necessarily about playing through like a story mode. Yeah. So my sort of favorite replayed game is Tetris Effect Connected.
Oh yeah, do you remember that stream you did last year? That was something else. I always remember
that game is just so transcendent. Like, it's not a puzzle game and it's not a rhythm game, but it's this lovely fusion where they take the mechanics of, Tetris, classic puzzle game, and just absorb you into this world where every move that you make in Tetris becomes a part of this sort of rhythmic landscape and these sort of neon movies that are happening within and behind the game. And it's just so zen. Like whenever you just need like, I just need 20 minutes to chill. It doesn't matter what game it is. Okay, Tetris. Let's just pop in some Tetris Effect and just, because I've always loved Tetris, and like it's kind of second nature to me. Like playing it, like you're sort of looking for certain patterns and all the rest of it. So then to already be comfortable with the game's mechanics from like day dot when it first comes out, and then you're like, oh wait, this is something different. This is feeding a lot of different parts of my brain, and it's it's one that I often go back to, and I'm like, I don't mind not playing through the next new game to be like, I need 20 minutes of Tetris Effect.
Like I said, I always remember that last stream, and like I remember tuning in, and then just all of these things flying around you, just being like, just like blowing, like it's just like you see your mind just being blown. It was, and also like there was like 40 people watching him.
Yeah, that was.
It was genuinely amazing. It was. I always remember that. That was so cool.
That was a mad stream, and the only thing is, I really want to play it in VR because it's in VR as well. I just think that would be everything around you and the surround sound.
Is that also your favorite game from a previous year, or is that just your favorite?
No.
Okay.
No. Because favorite game from a previous year, I tend to only be something that I've never played before this year.
Cool.
So it's not.
Okay. Well, that waits. We'll move on to you. Do you have like I said, I've got a game that I've loved. My favorite replay. Do you have a game like that, Gabe, or do you have like a favorite game?
Yeah, I do. I'll tell you the game that I go back to, and I've played it through multiple times, including this year, is Xcom 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because like, every now and again, I just kind of remind myself, that's a bloody good game. And then I play it, and then I play it for hours on end.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. There's nothing more satisfying than getting like a little critical hit on the zombie alien like human thing. Sectoid thing from like 5 miles away with your sniper rifle.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's very hard, like designed to be really hard. But there's something so satisfying. Like it balances along, the enemies get harder, the missions get harder as you go along, even though they are randomly generated. They do keep pace with you and keep challenging you the whole way. And by the time your squad gets really bloody overpowered and you think you're just invincible, they just keep chucking shit at you and it keeps getting harder. And I know in a lot of games when you get to that late game stage when you're really overpowered and you just think, I'm just killing time now.
Yeah.
It's still gripping. It's still amazing, but you still
like
have
a
the
reward, isn't it?
Yeah, you still feel satisfying. So, like in the early game, it might take 4 turns to like kill one monster alien thing, and then at the end, like you might be strong enough to do like 1-hit kills with your sniper rifle from like halfway across the stage, but it's still hard because there's more difficult monsters and there's millions of them, and maybe one of your weaker ones dies and then suddenly the balance is completely thrown. It's so satisfying when you get it right.
Yeah.
And it does keep me coming back for more.
I just enjoyed
You play on Iron Man mode?
I don't dare.
So Iron Man mode,
maybe.
one save. If someone dies, they're dead.
Oh,
Although
wow.
I think Die the Dead is in the
permadeath is a feature the whole time. But oh my god, it's so depressing when. Like I remember the first time I completed it, I had like 2 people left in my squad, and the guys I curated the entire game were all dead. I was like, "Fuck it, it's the last game, it's the last round. Let them all die as long as I complete the game." Yeah, it's great.
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, XCOM, man. Yeah. Oh, what a series! Have you played Phoenix Point? It's on Game Pass. Hey?
No.
Ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding.
It wouldn't be
3 minutes in.
But it's made by the original devs of XCOM.
Okay.
So I played the first level the other day. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is XCOM, sweet." So
nice.
Awesome. So XCOM 2, XCOM 2 specifically, or just the series?
I mean, the series is great, but I think XCOM 2 is really good. I think they upped it from XCOM 1, and shy of a bit of glitching on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
Awesome.
Dav, you should check out XCOM Chimera Squad.
Yeah, I really want to.
Came out last year. It's only like 15 quid. Like
I think I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump in on that.
Awesome. Zach, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'm just double check.
do you want me to go first?
No, I just had a horrible moment where I was thinking that I had misremembered the name of a game that I was going to talk about. Okay. That's not true.
It's a Zelda.
So we're doing two. We're doing like one.
Yeah,
one that's a replay and one that's something we haven't played. Okay, so the one that I'd never played before that I'm pretty sure it didn't come out this year. Now I think about it. This War of Mine, which was recommended to me by Weeks. And I'd forgotten about it actually because I played it in like March or something. But I played it loads. It's not like it's not the biggest game in the world. Like it's not, I've played like open worlds this year that are like nonstop. But I kept going back to that game. I kept playing it night after night.
Yeah. It's gripping, isn't it?
It's really gripping. It's really cool storytelling, like pretty well all done with gameplay. Very tense and bleak. Like I possibly shouldn't have been playing it in like the cold months of the year, like like in the lockdown stuff. But it was really really gripping, and actually I think I'm gonna go back to it thinking about it.
Wow. It's done its job then.
And actually, do you know what's wild about it as well is that sometimes we talk about games all the time, but it was one of those ones where I didn't know very much about it when you were talking about it. But I immediately went and bought it. I was like, "This sounds interesting.
Nice.
I've got to go try. I got to see what it's like." Yeah, I think that'd be the big one.
I like
actually. Yeah. Funny you mentioned that. One of my other kind of thoughts of games that I've really enjoyed playing this year was Frostpunk. The same guys.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And because they had a very similar feeling with that, just like I think Dav G was saying, like, well, have you tried it? I was like, well, funny enough, I watched a trailer just before this episode, and and then went ahead and streamed it because it was really, I thought it was really gripping.
Awesome. Right, I'll go with my favorite replay, and we'll come back to your favorite game. Okay. My favorite replay, Mass Effect Trilogy. The reason why I say that is because I haven't actually played it for about 8 years, and I am so silly for not playing it sooner. Like honest to God, you need when I finished it, it was like almost the end of like a French film where I just sat like lonely on the sofa, as like a single tear coming down my face. Yeah. Like it was genuinely, I'd forgotten how much I loved those games. Like genuinely forgotten how much I love those games. It genuinely gets me upset. I just hear the intro, and I'm just sitting there like suddenly inconsolable. I'm just like, honestly, I love those games so much, and it's that the reason why I separated them is because I put favorite game from a previous year, and there's other games that I was like I've never played before, like Dav Gabe said. But then I thought Mass Effect Trilogy, that was close to being my game of the year, but I didn't want to put it as game of the year because obviously I want to try and keep the games that have actually come out this year. Favorite replay was the Mass Effect Trilogy. I will always love those games. Favorite game from a previous year though, and then we'll go back in the opposite direction because that'd be nice and straightforward because we can go straight back to you.
Favorite game from a previous year.
I've got a couple. I'm going to mention a couple, and then I'll just talk about the one that I loved. And I think Zach already knows. You can see, you can read the bold. A couple of them. Metroid Fusion. Never played a Metroid game before. Resident Evil 2. I'd forgotten that was this year. Before we started. I was saying to Dav Gabe that I'd forgotten how many games I'd played. So many games. Wait,
are you talking about the remake or the original?
The remake.
Oh.
So I'd never played Resident Evil.
You played that?
Yeah. It was awesome. It was so good. It's cool. Such a good game. And it makes me want to play the other remakes. So I'm really excited to play 3, even though I know it's not supposed to be as good. And I know 4 is potentially being remade. So that's going to be exciting.
What do you guys think about the Resident Evil 4 VR?
I'd love to play that.
I really want to play that.
It's just Facebook.
Oh my God, I'd love that.
Oculus, isn't it?
I
think it's
is that what it's on?
Meta Quest.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, you can only get it on the Meta. You can't get it on the Oculus 2. Or the
Oculus is Meta now.
Yeah. It's you have to have it's all linked to Facebook and stuff.
Welcome to the metaverse.
I just can't keep up, honestly.
Just rattle through a couple of the Desperados 3. That was really good. And Dav Weeks in particular, you really should play that because I know we'd spoken before about Desperados being a game that we'd liked. Desperados 3 is really good, and
that's on my list.
Game Pass, it's on there. I think you can stream it as well, which is really handy. Skyward Sword as well, and that was fun because when I played it, I was worried that I was gonna hate it a lot more than I remembered, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I think what they did to it was quite good, considering all the other games that have been remade, like GTA, for instance. Was being a shambles. Skyward Sword is actually fine. Like the reaction to that was way out of proportion compared to the reaction to GTA. It was fine.
Nintendo fans, though.
Yeah, exactly. Chills. No, that's me, that is. The other one's not. But my game of the year, and it just about makes it, but I'll take it because it got me through COVID. So when I was ill at the start of the year with COVID, I played it and I was my titties were blown away. I'm just going to leave it there. It's Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And the reason why, so I played it literally in January, so it only came out last year, but I played Cyberpunk at the end of the year after we did the podcast, and at the start of the year I played Ghost of Tsushima, and I loved it. And I played the DLC recently, and that was so good. Like it is such a good game. It's so good. Like I love historical games. Like I used to love Assassin's Creed until it. Well.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about
changed.
it. We don't need to talk about it.
It just became...
It's gone.
Yeah. But anyway, Ghost of Tsushima, it's so rare that we get to, play in, It's so rare we get to play in Japan. You know, often games Europe, medieval-based, but also, European-based. If they do, fantasy or historical games, so rare that you actually get to play in Japan and have a world like that. And it was amazing. Genuinely, I loved that game. That's my favourite game of the previous year. Zach.
Lovely.
What's your favourite game from the previous year?
Well, so the one that I got confused.
It was your favourite replay? You did the opposite. Yeah,
so I did the other way around.
Yeah,
Sorry,
what's your favourite replay?
The replay.
That's fine.
And it was between two. It was between Super Metroid, which of course it was, because I play that every year, and it's just so great. But actually, more I was thinking about it was, and it's such an obvious one as well, was when we did Wind Waker.
Oh, yeah!
I love that. And you know, it's partly due to the game is great. It's a very great game, and I love playing it, and it's the remake, so it has, fixes and stuff. But, which I'd never done before. I'd never played that version. But more than anything else, I'm just thinking about, doing the last episode. I got, really emotional about it. We had the bullshit where I had to, play upside down for, an hour on the last boss, which is stupid. But it came to, the credits, and I was, genuinely, this is sad. I want to keep playing this. And, totally that.
I just want to point out that ACP said, we've got a couple. It was only a matter of time before Johnny mentioned a Zelda game. Game Pass and Zelda mentioned so far. Chickpea, hope you got your VGA bingo cards. I've already lost VGA bingo because Zach isn't wearing a shirt half unbuttoned.
It's got no buttons,
his
so what are you
muscles
going to
are
do?
bursting out of his tiny teeth. I can tell you that is true. Very true. Even more glorious in real life.
All right.
So wait, Zach, but your favourite replay is
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
And your favourite game from a previous year
is
This War of Mine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, I got it mixed up.
And also, for me personally, I spent half the journey.
We got to play it together. That was a big part of it.
That was really fun. That was genuinely really fun.
When was the last time, as a grown-up, you got to sit down and play through a full adventure with a friend? I would have done that all the time when I was a kid. You can't.
Just sit by your pal. And
it was really fun.
It was really fun. I know I'm jumping on your thing, but
I do
apologize. It was fun from my perspective. I was more than happy to just sit there and watch you play it.
So there was some weeks where you'd be like, "Oh, I can't make it," and I'd be like, "Oh, it's not as good."
Yeah. Because often I'd just be like, "Well, Zelda fact number 50."
Does that footage still exist, or is that gone now?
It's probably gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Into the ether, unless someone saved it. Maybe someone has. Cool. Daft Weeks. What was your? Well, you said yours as well. Favorite replay. What was your favorite game from a previous year?
That I played for the first time this year, and I think it was this year, but hey, lockdown, I kind of mixed 2020 and 2021. They kind of feel the same to me.
Yeah.
But I think this year was the year I played Inside.
Oh, yes. I remember you playing that.
That does sound right.
And
I like that.
Oh, golly gosh. I loved it. It was brilliant. It was just the right length for a nice thing. I did it in 2 streams. I love having people coming in trying to help me solve things. Dav had to help me out on one of them. And I love it. I love a puzzle game, and I love something as atmospheric as that. And it was gorgeous. And then the ending, that last kind of section is just like,
what
the hell's going on? bit of body shock for the end. Why not? I have no idea what the hell was going on, but like, I'm always in awe of a game, a movie, a piece of art, anything where like the aesthetic or the sense of place or the sense of, of emotion, the feeling that it's trying to come across hits you without even explaining itself, or, trying to give you a story or any facts. Yeah. It's just like, we're going to invoke a feeling of emotion and or space. You're going to feel it and you're going to have no idea why. And that did it really well.
It's just like they had such a clear vision for that game, Like that art direction, just from beginning to end, they just knew exactly what they wanted.
I mean, the tension, the dread, the bleakness was absolutely crystal clear. And I genuinely have no idea how they could have done it in any other way. Which is crazy, just for what is essentially a puzzle platformer. It's just a puzzle platformer, but they wrapped it up beautifully.
Yeah,
good stuff. Good stuff.
Good.
Great choice.
Yeah,
best choice. Better than the other two.
How dare you?
Charming.
Dav, Gabe, do you have anything? So you did favorite replay, right? So what was your favorite game from a previous year?
Well, I wish I'd never played Inside, so I could play that for the first time again. But sadly, that's not true. So I had 5 to choose. Well, I had 9. I've whittled it down to 5, and I have made a choice. But these are 5 games that I played for the first time this year that are all worthy of being my favorite game from a previous year. Hitman 1, being Hitman Reboot 2016.
Yeah, 2016, yeah.
Reboot Hitman 1, not Hitman 1 Silent Assassin from the early noughties. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely not. Also, The Last of Us.
Oh yeah!
Oh shit! You played that for the first time. Yeah.
Of course you did.
Completely forgot about that.
Another Sony exclusive, God of War.
Yes, man, you tore through the Sony exclusives, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm still making my way. And then second place has to go to Cuphead.
Ooh,
which technically came out last year, I believe. And then, so my number 1 for game from a previous year is Control.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes, Control.
I definitely thought you were going to say Yakuza.
I thought you was going to say Final Fantasy 7.
Well, Yakuza was my game of the year last year. But I played it when it came out.
That's right. That's right.
It was the game I got with my Xbox. Yeah. But yes, Control, man. I mean, Dav Weeks talking about vibes for Inside. Like, vibes in Control just blow you away. And such a strong vision in that game as well. Like, they had built everything up in Alan Wake and in Quantum Break. And then they just... Even Max Payne. Like, there's even Max Payne references in Control.
Really?
But yeah, Remedy Entertainment with Control just took it to a whole other level. So, like, this game... That's sort of like X-Files meets Twin Peaks. You never know what the next room's going to have in it. Like, there might be a fridge that eats that can't have anyone take their eyes off it, otherwise it'll eat everyone alive and become a horrific monster. And then you've got to go inside the fridge and defeat the monster that's inside it. Like, that's like such a small side quest that like you can easily skip over. And then there's like the fact that when you go into the bureau, as it's called, the Federal Bureau of Control, maybe that's what it's called, and you're reading these documents as you're making your way in, and one of them is like banned things like drugs, firearms, rubber ducks. You're like, wait, why have we banned rubber ducks? What's going on here? And then like you're on your way and you speak to this janitor who becomes a bigger character in the whole thing. And he's bizarre, and I love the janitor in this game. But you speak to him, and then you look, and there's an office to your right, and the office has no door to get into the office. It's just all windowed walls. And you're like, is this feels intentional? And then you go through the game, and you realize that the building shifts around, so all the rooms from one day to the next could be in completely different places. And like you see like memos from people being like, For any delays due to building shifts, please report to so-and-so with this form in order to all the rest of it. And just the world building is just so incredible. And Control. That's 40 hours of my life that I was just so in the zone for, and I loved it. And the DLC was incredible as well. You have to play the DLC for that game. But yeah, the ending was a little bit abrupt, but apart from that, love that game.
Nice. I have that game. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah,
I started to play it, and then I got distracted by something else.
Yeah,
shiny piece of paper or something.
once you dig into
it's like, oh no.
Once you dig into that game, you will want to do nothing else with your time.
Okay, cool. I should definitely have a go of it.
You're gonna have to get rid of that paper first.
Yeah, I know.
Just toss it.
Thing is, you'll try and get rid of it, and then you'll go,
just like wandering around the house for days at a time.
Zach's off again.
I know what I'm getting Zach for Christmas.
2 shiny bits of paper. What do I do?
You just have to wrap a roll of wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Oh god. All right, let's move on to the next category. And this one we can kind of take in any way you want, really. So surprise of the year. So it's up to you how you would take that. It can't just be a game that surprised you, a genre that you were surprised you liked. It's up to you. It can be. It doesn't have to be as strict as a game that surprised you. Mine will be a game that surprised me quite a lot, actually. In fact, I'll go first just because I'll get out of the way.
Sure.
Hitman. Never played a Hitman game before. I played it on a whim and loved it. Genuinely, I played Hitman 2 because it was. I think it was on sale for £16, and all of all of Hitman 2 is the DLC as well was on sale. So I didn't even play Hitman 1. I went back to that after I bought Hitman 2. It was £16, and I played it, and I was like, how the hell have I never played a Hitman game before? I love this game.
I know.
I think over the course of me having my PS4 and PS5, because I played a little bit on my PS4 when I was ill, I think I put in 100 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
That was across the 3 games though, so that was across 1, 2, and then 3 as well. But
even then, that's a lot of replays.
The thing I loved about Hitman as well is because it is just this sandbox. You're just all right, just do what you want. Just the finding out how to kill people in the funniest way was what I vibed on. That's the thing. It wasn't about being serious and being a hitman. It was just how can I make this person die hilariously? Often it involved explosive golf balls.
I need help. Johnny's trapped me. He's trying to find the funniest way to kill me.
Where did I put that paper? Just put in my little friend here. He's joining the crew, by the way.
The exploding snowman.
Exploding snowman. But yeah, no, Hitman, that's it. That's my surprise of the year because I'd never played Hitman before and I was surprised by how much I loved it. Anyone want to go next? Zach, do you have a surprise? Seeing as you're here.
Yeah. I was going to talk about the, I'm getting confused. I'm pretty sure this was this year. Let me just say that. Pokemon Arceus, right? That announcement.
Oh yeah, that was so that's
year.
coming out next year.
That's coming out in January.
It was announced this year.
I was just surprised a few times by how they were going to do it. I was surprised that they were going to change the formula.
Yeah.
In a seemingly drastic way, but then I was also surprised that it's not as changed as I maybe thought it was going to be. But yeah, I mean, and I'm really talking about the initial thing of them being right, we are doing the remakes, but they're going to be quite different. Even though there was a precedent for them to shake up the formula and stuff, I didn't see them doing it with the Diamond and Pearl thing, having the brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl alongside Arceus as announcements. And I think it will be another surprise to come when we actually see what it ends up being.
It had a new trailer the other day. I'm fairly sure the Game Awards had a trailer.
Oh, that's right. They had
around it anyway.
The new Voltorb and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, the wooden Voltorb.
Yeah, I like that. It's quite cute. I think that's a nice little
weird.
It's a nice little change.
That's a really good shout actually, because for me, I'm not really into Pokemon, but I am really interested in playing Pokemon Arceus. It does look intriguing and it does look different and interesting in a way that Pokemon doesn't really, for me personally.
But you know what's interesting? I was talking to my to Bronwyn's sister yesterday, who's a little bit younger than us, and even she was saying like, yeah, I'd like to play Pokemon again, but like they're all the same. And she's not like a crazy gamer, it's not like she's played every one.
Yeah.
She played a few when she was a kid, and she's like, well, I could, but like it's the same, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
what's more to get out of it?
Yeah, and so I said, and I don't think she was she's not as familiar with the Arceus thing, and I was like, well, maybe that'd be the one to try again, if you like the designs and stuff, because I mean, ultimately that is the mass appeal of it. It's got these great designs, it's really likable characters. Anyway,
it does look really intriguing.
Yeah,
I think it's going to sound really well. But that's a great shout. That's a great.
I'll
surprise.
follow up with that because I've got two surprises. One of them is how much I'm enjoying Pokemon Brilliant Diamond.
Really?
Yeah,
that surprises me actually.
Yeah, so the aesthetic when you're playing it looks a lot better than it does in the trailers.
Okay.
I don't know why, it just feels a little bit closer to what Link's Awakening looks like.
Yeah.
It's not as beautiful and gorgeous and amazing as Link's Awakening looks, but it's definitely more towards that and less towards cheap knockoff chibi models. And I'm just having a lot of fun with it. There's this whole underground layer to it that I've spent hours and hours digging away in, and like the Pokemon in the underground level are much higher levels than what you come across. It's almost like, I don't know if this is true or not, but you've got the base game, and then sort of everything is the same level as it is. And then it feels like when you go into the underground, they level up based on what your Pokemon levels are.
Right,
so
cool.
I feel like I'm playing against like level like 18 Ponytas in the wild and stuff. I go into the underground, and there'll just be like a level 35 Onix rocking up. I'll be like, okay, I've got to actually like fight this, because as well, like I'm going through it and I'm trying to like catch them all, as it were. So like every Pokemon that I catch, I'm like, right, how do I evolve this? Right, let's go through the process to evolve it. And there are far too many Pokemon that require high friendship. That's something that I don't appreciate. But I've never played Diamond and Pearl. I've never played Gen 4 before. So all of that is new to me. And yeah, just lovely vibes in that game. And it's linear enough. That's what I need in an old school kind of Pokemon game, is a linearity. I just need to be able to not think and just enjoy it and just find new Pokemon, catch them, get the little dopamine hits, and crack on to the next area. And it's really satisfying, that itch. I'm like 25 hours in and I've only got 4 badges because I'm just going around the underground, or I'm just trying to work out how to evolve these Pokemon. And it's really good fun. But my other surprise is it's another game. It's just how good it is, and that's the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games game.
Oh yeah, I remember you guys talking about this. That's great.
My first and only platinum trophy on any Sony console ever. And I was obsessed with that game for a solid month. Like,
brilliant.
Good Lord, I was hammering the 100 meters in sub 6 seconds. Like,
wow.
In your face, Usain Bolt.
Yeah, I was unbeaten online in 100 meters races. I did 12 in a row and I won every single race.
That's amazing.
Suck it, world.
What exactly do you have to do on your controller to run the race? Is it tap buttons like in an old 90s game?
Yes. So you have to time the start, and then it's A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, well, X circle, X circle, X circle for the running.
Yeah.
And then there's a point about 60 meters in where you press another button, I think it's R1 or R2, to boost, and you get an extra charge there. And if you get everything perfect, you can do the 100 meters in like 5.8 seconds.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just phenomenal. It's so fun, so silly, and just like when doing like 100 meters front crawl as Sonic the Hedgehog is just against 7 other humans. Yeah. Like, it's just, and it's not even like Sonic the Hedgehog. It's literally a person in a Sonic the Hedgehog
in a mascot
outfit.
suit. Yeah,
like literally, and it's just, it was just so jolly. And like those streams are some of the most enjoyable streams I had all year. Whereas like maybe you're like a pirate lady doing rugby sevens, and just all the silly games in there, and every sport in there. There's 20 sports in there, and each of them had different mechanics, and some of them were really interesting. There was speed climbing. That was really fun. So you control your left hand and your right hand. And there's like very tight mechanics in there. And yeah, I was really impressed with how great the mechanics were for a lot of those games. And in order to like get better, and the finesse you needed was actually like a good level of challenge. But you didn't need a gold medal in every sport in order to get a platinum.
Yeah.
But you did need to like win like 20 online matches or something like that. So that's where I like got stuck in, and I was like, oh, great. And good fun. And just taekwondo, just judo as Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, can't beat it.
That's amazing. I actually love that. I remember you talking about it, and because I always thought you were playing the Nintendo one, but then obviously you weren't because it was on Sony. And apparently the rugby is really silly in that one.
It is really silly.
Yeah, and
and if you run backwards, then you can backward pass to your team, but they all go to your inverted V, so you're actually passing forwards down the field.
Oh wow! Okay.
Classic.
Like John O'Lone Rugby did in 1998.
Yeah. It's like, I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna go. Daft Weeks, what was your surprise?
I would like to take you back to September, I believe it was. And it was that Nintendo Direct that was really, really good.
Ooh.
Do you remember it? Because I had to look it up. But I'm trying to remember what made it really good. And I remember it had the new Kirby game that looked like it was set in The Last of Us. They announced the expansion for Nintendo Online, which really excited me as well.
Yeah.
I got the whole list here of what came out. The Mega Drive stuff.
Mega Drive.
Was that the one where they were like, yeah, I know you all want to hear about Breath of the Wild, but no.
It might have been.
That's pretty much all of the directs.
True.
But like they were just checking out loads of stuff, and I was going, ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, that's interesting. Bayonetta 3, Splatoon 3, Monster Hunter Rise.
It was a banger. It was a banger.
It had all the It said Animal Crossing was getting all the new stuff put into it.
Oh yeah.
Mario Party Superstars, which really annoyed me. Although having heard more about it now it's been released, I kind of want to trade in my Super Mario Party and get the Mario Party All Stars because it sounds like they heard us, fixed it, and want to charge us more money to get the fixed version. But I might be a bit of a sucker for it. Oh well. And also it was the one where Shigeru Miyamoto announced the movie. Which
Chris Pratt.
You cannot deny was
a surprise.
It's me, Mario.
It's me, Mario. Now, hey, I have no expectation for it to be good. Absolutely not. I don't give a shit.
Maybe next year.
But you cannot deny it was a surprise.
The surprise next year will be that it's actually average because we all thought it was going to be shit.
I think it might end up being average, you know?
Yeah.
What? Is it going to be caliber of like the recent Sonic movie? Probably. Which has now got a sequel coming out.
Yeah. But people thought the Sonic movie was okay, right?
I enjoyed it. It was fine.
I didn't watch it, I'll be honest. Like I only just watched Detective Pikachu. Which I thought was pretty good. It was fine. It was solid.
I mean,
solid movie.
If it could,
Detective Pikachu was alright.
If it could be Lego movie levels of goods, that would be amazing.
That's what I was just thinking.
That's the benchmark
that
it needs to hit.
That's what I feel like. Maybe that's what they're gonna do. So like when Chris Pratt is actually Mario, maybe it's like he's a person, but then he play. I don't know.
It's like
I don't know if they're gonna do it like straight, just the world.
Do you
There's
guys
gotta
see
be some kind of
the Lego Batman movie with
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's so funny.
It's fantastic.
Like it's a really, really good movie. That was a damn surprise, right? Like, so I mean, maybe they can make something of it.
Maybe next year on the Video Games Ahoy podcast.
Dav not looking very convinced by all this. We're all going like, everyone, let's just back off.
The surprise is actually going to be that Chris Pratt is voicing all of the characters. It's just a ruse. We're voicing Peach.
It's Chris Pratt doing impressions.
Hey Mario, I baked a cake for you.
Jack Black.
All right. Biggest gaming moment of 2021. I've got one. Maybe I don't know if we might have the same one. Maybe not actually, but I'll just go straight away. And I don't really want to say much about it, but Bethesda acquisition. I think that's like probably the biggest thing.
Year?
That was this year. That was March. Like that. I think that's changed gaming, like for the foreseeable future, because of the way that PlayStation now like shit. We don't have Fallout. We don't have Skyrim. We don't have Deathloop. It's not an exclusive anymore. I think that is one of the biggest gaming moments, let alone of 2021. I don't really need to say much more about that because like that's business and we're here for pleasure. So Bethesda acquisition is my gaming moment of 2020. Biggest gaming moment.
Okay.
Good choice.
Anyone else want to go?
Speaking of pleasure over business, I misunderstood what this meant, so I went for something entirely different.
It's fine.
Oh, go!
I for me it was playing. This is a personal gaming moment.
Oh, lovely.
It was playing 12 minutes with Bronwyn and my housemate David. And I just put it on because we'd been talking about it, and I was like, it's on Game Pass, whatever, it's whatever. And
It's on what?
It's on
Ding, 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 ding!
PlayStation Cobra. What's it called? The Spartacus thing?
Yes, it is Spartacus. Spartacus, yeah.
Spartacus, I hate it. But yeah, I just put it on, and the two of them weren't going to join in. I was just going to have a go on my own. They kind of like poked their heads around the door, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a little mystery going on," and like I'm trying to figure it out. And then all of a sudden they're going, "Have you tried this? Have you tried that?" And we sat there for like way into the night. We didn't even finish it. It's not even a very long game. But yeah, that was a really big moment for me because it was really fun to just have everyone congregate around a single player game. It's
I like that.
a rare occasion, as we were talking about with the Wind Waker thing.
It's nice.
Anyway,
I like that. No, that do you know what? I quite like that. That didn't have to be. Biggest is subjective, isn't it?
It's just for me.
Exactly. Davs, which one of you would like to go next?
I've got one. I've got a business and a pleasure one, I suppose.
Business Pokemon.
Business Pokemon.
This is the biggest
I think the big kind of business moment was Epic versus Apple.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, I mean that was a juicy bit of goss, and I think that's got some really interesting repercussions coming from that.
Totally.
So I think that was a pretty big one. But I think on the pleasure side of things, is less of a moment for me, but more of like the end of moments, because I'm referring to the end of Smash announcements.
Oh yeah.
Because
it's kind of sad.
I love the Smash announcements. I don't even really play Smash anymore, but I love the Smash announcements. And I watched a 15-minute compilation of streamers reacting to Sora.
Oh yeah,
and it was a really lovely compilation. I was like, oh my god, this means so much to a lot of people. And I don't know, I found that a really lovely moment that has been shared by loads of people. And those Smash reveals have been so much fun over the course of the past few years.
Can I just add on the flip side of the heartwarming moments? It's really funny when people lose their shit when their character didn't get it. So I just want to say that as well.
Yeah. That's why I liked that Nintendo Direct, because I'm pretty sure that's the one where they announced Skyward Sword, and it was great. Everyone was pissed off.
Zach's biggest moment.
That was great. Highlight of the year.
No, I actually really like that. And that's also a really good shout as well, because we don't know when the next Smash Brothers is going to be. We have no idea, and we don't even know if.
You think they're going to do one?
Who knows? I mean, not for a couple of years.
They can just keep updating it, right?
Yeah,
it looks good.
There's no point in updating it. That's the thing. There's no point.
Smash Ultimate.
It is Ultimate. Yeah. Awesome. Davix, anything else to add? I like that. That was a good show.
I think that's good. I've given you two there, really, for the price of one.
You did. Business and pleasure.
Business and pleasure.
VG. What have you got?
I've got three, but I'm going to just blast through them. One of them, I've never played this game. I don't think any of us have, maybe Dad, but I don't think any of us played this game. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, the expansion that's just come out. And it's the end of an era for Final Fantasy XIV, and people are loving it. And World of Warcraft, this is going to tie into my next one. World of Warcraft being utter garbage, and everyone, and a lot of the people behind that game being utter garbage, forced a lot of people to move over to Final Fantasy XIV. And now this Endwalker's come out. It's the highest rated thing of the year. It's got a 97, I think, on Metacritic, which is insane. It's only 2 lower than Ocarina of Time, the highest reviewed Metacritic game of all time. And the redemption and the sort of the vindication for those people who have moved over to Final Fantasy XIV on these massive servers, and this expansion comes out and everyone is absolutely loving it. Warms my heart. And a sour moment is Activision Blizzard being a bunch of dicks. Bobby Kotick needs to fuck off, and all his cronies need to as well. I don't know what's going to happen to that company. They're too big to fail, but something needs to happen, and I'm so glad that they're finally starting to get their comeuppance, and I hope that in 2022 that stuff gets sorted out and they can start to rebuild and be a company that actually values human beings for what they are.
Yeah.
And also, It Takes Two getting GOTY is quite nice.
That was quite nice.
That was quite nice.
That genuinely was quite nice. I really enjoyed his speech.
He was great.
Yes.
He was having the best time of his life.
Dude, he's just like, remember that time I said fuck the Oscars? It was great.
That was great.
Genuinely was great. No, that's a great shout. That is Dav. That's genuinely a great shout. I mean, you mentioned hopes. Let's move on to hopes. Do you want to start? Do you want to talk about your hopes for 2022?
Yeah, sure. So, increased accessibility in all games as default. Really wonderful to see that in the Game Awards, the second best Game of the Year conversation, the Game Awards After Hours, that they now have an Innovation in Accessibility Award. That's really nice to see.
Yeah. And
things like Forza Horizon now having sign language interpreters in cutscenes, which is like, I would have never thought of doing that in a game.
Yeah. And
that's just a really lovely idea. And like, lots of other games are doing really excellent stuff. Last of Us 2, I remember, last year, did some amazing stuff. And yeah, I just love to see that stuff as standard going forward. And I think there's no reason for that not to happen in 2022. The PlayStation Spartacus not sucking. That's a really big hope for me. I do not have high expectations at all. The fact that I read that there's going to be like a tiered system of service, is just gross. And also, Pokemon Legends Arceus not sucking. I really hope that game is good.
My list, yeah.
I mean, the one thing I said, we were talking about, I've boasted about this call before, but when we were talking about Pokemon and what they should do to change it, and I said, well, why not have a turn taker thing relevant on like the speed of certain Pokemon. So if you've got a really fast Pokemon, maybe they get 2 turns in a row every now and again. So, and they've actually put that into Legends Arceus. So I'm like, oh, it's the one thing I actually cared about putting into a Pokemon game, and they've done it. And it's going to have like a Monster Hunter kind of genre to it. So yeah, fingers crossed for that game.
That is mad that they didn't have that in there in the first place. Because that would make sense. That would make... If you're faster, then you would hit more times.
Yeah.
So,
maybe it was too unbalanced for the game because it makes a big difference.
To be fair to Pokemon Red and Blue, I'm pretty sure they're about 45 megabytes worth of memory. So if the fact that they run at all is fucking amazing.
The problem is though is that Pokemon Sun and Moon was probably only 50 megabytes. Yeah. There's been no progress. In 25 years.
Amazing. Great. No, those are some hopes I can jump on board with. Dav Weeks, do you have any hopes and dreams?
Yeah. So, my hope for next year is another top tier premier Nintendo game.
As in like a new IP?
Not necessarily a new IP, just
something.
This year has been like Mario Golf. Damn squib. Mario Party, damn squib. And next year, like whether it be Breath of the Wild 2 just being another like a huge blockbuster game, or getting an announcement of another, top class Mario game, that's my hope.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one because every Nintendo advert you see still has 4 games. It has Ring Fit Adventure, it has Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
3 of those games came out in 2017.
Yep.
Yes.
And one of them is a remake of a game from the previous console.
From 2014.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Like, obviously some great games have come out in the last couple of years, but like nothing that's like going to replace one of those 4 games in any advert.
Yeah, like we need another Odyssey.
Yeah.
I guess Animal Crossing came out this year, but it's kind of weird, like not a game.
Yeah. Well, Animal Crossing was last year.
It was last year.
Oh, yeah, of course it was.
And the thing is as well, like I was just about to say, the highest rated game from Nintendo for this year is Mario 3D World, which is a remake.
Yeah,
that's the highest rated game of the year. Like nothing from Nintendo broke. I know Metacritic is an arbitrary thing, but like still, like nothing broke through that 90 barrier where you kind of expect this is like, ooh, that's a shining light.
And
nothing broke.
And not even a remake, like just an up-res, really. Well, obviously the expansion, Bowser's Fury
was great, to be fair.
But the game itself is just like up-resed from 180p to 720i or something.
From 45 megabytes to 50 megabytes.
Exactly, yeah.
Cutting edge.
Awesome. No, I like that. That's a good show. Zach, do you want to go next as well?
Yeah. I have 3.
Go.
I would like, this is a weird one, but I would like Among Us VR to be something that people actually play.
Yeah.
I want it to be a game that really, because I loved playing that game, and everyone got bored of it really quickly, and that made me sad. But yeah, it just seems like a fun idea, and like it's so gimmicky and silly and stuff. Like I just don't see it really catching on. Yeah. But I would quite like it if it did. I think that would be fun. My other 2 are both Last of Us themed. I want the Last of Us series to be short and concise and just like
10?
a good
10 episodes?
10 episodes, 12 max, in my opinion.
I think it might be
12,
8.
Like 8, lovely.
Yeah, I think that's 8.
At 40 minutes a piece, that we're thinking?
Yeah.
That's okay, I can cope with it. I was just watching a new anime this week, and it's 12 episodes, 20 minutes a piece. And it was so good, so nice, and just like, I didn't feel bored at all.
20 episodes plus is so much.
And American TV shows often do that, and zombies, they love to do that, so I just like it to just be really nice and concise and just like, no crap, no fucking around. I just want to get on with it. And I basically don't. My other big hope is that we don't hear anything about Last of Us 3. I don't want to hear about Last of Us 3, maybe ever, but I'm nervous about it.
Do you think we'll get an Uncharted before we get a Last of Us?
Yes, I think so, because I think that Last of Us 3 is going to come under a new director. I don't see Neil Druckmann doing it.
Okay.
And which means that I don't think they'll have started it yet, because I think they'll need to do the hand. It's going to depend a little bit how they go about it on the TV show.
Yeah,
I think, and I think they do Uncharted quicker. I think they do them quicker.
It feels like they do. They're
because
short. They feel shorter as well.
That took them like 5 years.
Yeah,
and then The Last of Us 2 was like 7 years.
I think there was 2 years between all of the well, not all of it, like 1, 2, and 3. I think there was like 2 years between each of them.
And they're using, 1, 2, and 3 will use, at least 1 and 2 use the same engine. Right?
Yeah, it felt like they just reused the same thing.
And I think they can as well. I don't think there's any reason not to.
No, totally.
Also, Last of Us 2 Factions is still coming, so
oh yeah,
they'll still be working on that, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping we just don't hear anything about it this year or for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, no, I quite like that. I would obviously like a Last of Us, but like there needs to have time to die down, I think.
Yeah, and they need to figure it out as well. Like it's I get why a lot of people are kind of like, all right, Last of Us 2, that's enough of that. I kind of agree in many ways. If they never did another one, I'd be like, that's fine. I've had my meal and I've had my dessert. That's great. If they can come up with a little cheese board, great. Love that. But that might end up just being that might well be your factions, That
what about a Last of Us cheese board Christmas gift?
Oh, you think it's like they just go like 24th of December, they're just like, listen, DLC.
Yeah.
Have your brie.
I would actually enjoy it if they did some DLC, because I think that would be quite easy for them to make a nice rounded story in a 2-hour playthrough.
No, I mean a real cheese board.
Oh, what, Neil Druckmann shows up and he's like, I have cheese for you?
I'd be like, Or like chips and dip, Here's some salsa. Here's some guacamole.
Guacamole.
Has it got real Joel in it?
Made with real Joel.
We use a golf club. Going on. What are your hopes, John?
My hopes. You can read these. It's fine.
I'm going to read them out for you.
Do you want to read them out?
Breath of the
Wild. It is no surprise that I'm going to mention Breath of the Wild 2, but I really hope that it sticks, because like I kind of what Dav Weeks was just saying, really just jumping on what you said, is that like I think Nintendo need a good year, because I think they had a fine year, but I don't think
an adequate year.
The thing is that Xbox and PlayStation are going to start catching up. Like they're going to be able to start making more consoles, and they're going to be selling more. There's going to come a point where like Nintendo needs something more than just we have loads of people want to buy consoles. They need something more. I think Breath of the Wild 2 needs to stick its landing next year, because even though I do think Nintendo like next year is going to be really good for Nintendo, we've already got Splatoon 3, we've got Kirby, Last of Us, we've got Bayonetta 3. So maybe Breath of the Wild 2 as well. I mean, that's a pretty solid year.
Going on the Switch?
Say again?
Do you see The Last of Us is going on the Switch?
No, Kirby Last of Us.
Kirby Last of Us.
What?
Do you remember the Nintendo Direct?
The trailer.
Like it was in like an empty.
Oh, I remember you talking about it, but I don't think I don't remember the actual.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, after this,
it's
we'll
like
watch
Kirby
it.
in a shopping center with overgrown plants in it and shit.
It's like it's
weird.
Crazy. Yeah, it's weird,
Okay,
but it looks
cool.
amazing. It looks totally amazing. So yeah, that's one of them. I just really hope it sticks because I think, like you said, we need something big from Nintendo because I think Xbox is gonna have a really big year next year, and I think PlayStation is gonna try and counter that as well. So Nintendo needs something big. Jumping on what Dav Gabe said, I've got written down here. In general, the year lives up. Actually, no, that's not the. I'll go to the next thing. Video game industry as a whole just sorts its shit out and treats its employees like humans. It's exactly what I have written down here. So I don't really need to say more than that. Dav Gabe has already covered that eloquently, and I will just fuck that up. So I'm just going to leave that there. But the other thing I was going to say is, in general, I think next year has the potential, and you might disagree, to be the best year in video game history. Because of all the games that have been pushed out from 2020
so many
2021.
games.
Like, we talk about Pokemon Arceus. Okay, that's a big start. I didn't even mention that with Nintendo. Breath of the Wild 2, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, what's the Starfield, like Bayonetta 3. Like, that's just the games that we know so far that are gonna like potentially hit next year. That's like, which one's gonna win Game of the Year? If they all get to the potential that we think they're going to get to, which like their predecessors all got to like ridiculously high scores. I mean, what the hell? Any one of those games, it potentially could have won Game of the Year this year.
Do you know what else is supposed to come out next year?
Go.
Hogwarts Legacy.
There we are.
Is that next year?
Supposed to be.
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad. That looks better every time.
Yeah, it looks great. I love it.
Lego Star Wars game, which looks incredible.
Does look great.
Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo, as far as that side of gaming. You've got so many big things coming. The next Diablo game is in theory coming out. I don't know, but man. Oh, what a year! It's already looking like the Borderlands game actually looks good. The Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Tiny Tina,
actually looks all right.
I do genuinely think that next year could, not by design, by accident, obviously, I think it could end up being the best year, or one of the best years in video game history, which is, obviously I'm hyping that to shit, but man, I am genuinely quite hyped. I think every month has like Elden Ring comes out in the same month as Horizon Forbidden West. I think they're both February, right? Or around that time anyway, which is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Logical Robot praying for Battle for Middle-earth 3. Or Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Right, Middle-earth 3, yeah.
Well, actually,
they're making
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman,
yeah,
yes.
Wonder Woman. Yeah, exactly. With that engine. So, I'm excited for that.
Whenever that game comes
Is
out.
Gollum coming out next year?
What?
Is Gollum?
Gollum?
I hope that gets cancelled, to be honest.
Dear.
It looks worse every time I see it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any gameplay footage.
There's no gameplay footage, which is worrying. But the most recent trailer at the Game Awards just didn't look good.
I don't know though. I just feel like if we're not seeing gameplay trailer, that just says everything.
It does.
But that says everything to me about. There's so many games lately where I'm like, cool, more pre-rendered footage. Like, just show me the game. I want to see the game.
Honestly, we said this in a podcast recently. I've learnt my lesson in the last 2 years with any game that doesn't show gameplay footage or doesn't have reviews until after it's released. I don't trust.
No.
That happened with GTA, it happened with Cyberpunk, and both there was a reason why. So I don't trust any game that doesn't show me gameplay footage anymore.
We've been burned before.
I've been burnt badly. I have a burnt bottom, and I don't want another burnt bottom. Right, gents.
Game of the year. Game of
the year. Game of the year.
Okay. Who wants to go? Game of the year. Who wants to?
I'll go.
Yeah,
go on.
Oh.
So I couldn't separate any of these. I picked one as the game of the year, but I couldn't. I wanted a list of 5. I've got a list of 6. I couldn't eliminate any of these. So in my second to 6, in no order, Little Nightmares 2. Oh my gosh, like real sort of inside vibes, Dav. Like Little Nightmares 1 and 2 are phenomenal games. I played the first one for the first time this year. And Little Nightmares 2 is just an absolute sensation. It just builds on the lore and the story and pulls at your heartstrings and makes you want to claw your eyes out in frustration of like not just a couple of the puzzles, but also like the desperation of what these characters are going through, and like you can see something unfolding and you're powerless to stop it. It's incredible. But moving on, because I've got a lot to say. Kana Bridge of Spirits. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful game. A real sort of like a PS2 action adventure game, like sort of your old school like Ratchet and Clank or your Jak and Daxter, but brought in the 21st century. Really slick action combat, and if you don't utilize every skill and everything you've learned throughout the game, the bosses will punish you. Like they're not like Dark Souls level, but like they, you need to really utilize all your combat mechanics and everything in every boss battle in order to sort of beat them. You're going to die a lot. I died a lot in every boss fight. But yeah, beautiful. Oh, gorgeous. The world, the visuals, the characters were a little bit bland. That's probably why I didn't get it for me. But the world, the collectibles were fun to get and rewarding. Yes, anyway, moving on. Final Fantasy VII Remake, including the episode Intergrade expansion. I played it on the PS5, so I've kind of included it.
Yeah, it's a new release.
Amount that they changed in that game. Oh my god, what a revelation. I bounced off Final Fantasy VII every time I played it. Final Fantasy IX, boy me. But 7 Remake, I wasn't expecting to enjoy this anywhere near as I did. Anywhere near as much as I did. Oh my gosh, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Johnny, when is that part 2 coming?
Oh, Matt, it's going to be years. Man, I want it now. I want it yesterday.
Yeah. Another nominee, Metroid Dread. Phenomenal game. Such tight world design and level design. Like, they just Metroidvanias. Like, for a company that made some fine games. And go on, Johnny, what are you going to say?
It's just very quickly. Like, just you mentioning Metroid Dread, instantly I heard that the Metroid theme played at the Game Awards, and it was absolutely incredible. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Anyway, that's all I want to say.
But yeah, like from a dev studio that's made like the 3D Castlevania games, which like are fine games, to then come out with this, you're like, oh my god, like you've not reinvented the wheel, but like you've made like one of the best wheels ever.
Yeah.
Like this is one of the tightest Metroidvanias that I've ever played. Phenomenal. A couple of the mechanics were just a bit annoying for me. That's probably the only thing, but there's never been a more perfect title for a game. Metroid Dread. It's a Metroid game, and I was filled with dread every half an hour. Brilliant game. Halo Infinite is another nominee for me. Maybe I've just not spent enough time with it, but the multiplayer is sensational. It's still in beta, so they've got work to do on that, but not much work to do on that. And the campaign is great. It makes me feel like Halo 3 brought into the 21st century, and I love that. But Game of the Year has to be a game that is just the wholesome vibes. It just really felt like a 2021 game to me. And it's sort of the plucky underdog that I didn't expect anything from, but it delivered on every aspect. And I'm so glad that Tim Schafer and Double Fine were able to pump out Psychonauts 2 this year, because that game was an absolute sensation. Such a joy to play from beginning to end. The characters, the world, the music. The music was beautiful. And the world design, the different brains and how they utilize it all. And it looked beautiful. The textures in that game were glorious. Very few technical glitches or bugs that I can remember. I think there was maybe one, and it wasn't that damaging. Oh my god, Psychonauts 2 is so close to being a masterpiece that in some ways had no right to be as good as it was. But yeah, Psychonauts 2, man. What a game.
I had a feeling you might pick Psychonauts 2, but I genuinely love that you picked that, because I really enjoyed it as well. It's great. It's really good. Sorry, Dav Weeks, what are you going to say?
Me? It's already been mentioned once, Metroid Dread.
Oh, really?
It is Metroid Dread. So I don't think I've played many new, many 2021 games. I was really struggling to think of what I had, and I was just thinking, like as I said earlier, Mario Golf and Mario Party. But Metroid Dread came out swinging.
Do you reckon your copy of Mario Golf is someone else's Game of the Year?
Yeah, maybe.
Specifically your copy.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, I mean, when that trailer for Metroid Dread came out, it was like, ooh, wow, this looks like it could be something special. And it was. It was great. It was simultaneously felt nostalgic, yet completely contemporary at the same time. And it was a joy to play. It was tense. I mean, I still haven't finished it, actually.
Really?
But I got distracted. Like,
good luck with that final boss, Dev. Oh my gosh.
I know. The bosses that I have fought so far have been really interesting. I mean, I have the similar niggle with Dav G there of just a couple of mechanics. Some of the power-ups basically feel like just keys to get through doors.
Yes.
One in particular, I think, was used twice in the entire game.
Yeah. So that's where it falls short. But again, the tension that it built was great. The enemies I thought were great. The Emmys I thought were a brilliant addition. As much as I hate them, they're great at what they do, but I just hate them. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant game, and I think with a couple of slight variations, slightly like rethinks and rejigs of the power-ups, I think it's pretty much a perfect game, actually.
That's amazing. I'm really happy about that. I was glad it got nominated for Game of the Year, like at the Game Awards. Just because like so many people are like, oh, it's a 2D game, but like who cares? It's still an amazing game. Like, it doesn't matter.
Anyone who says that is an absolute dick. There you go. That's my hot take.
Dav Weeks is back, baby.
Wow.
But like, what is your beef there? That is a stupid thing to say. Yeah. Those are the people who say, "Oh, I don't watch movies with subtitles." Are like, "Oh, black and white." You know, it can't be a good movie if it's in black and white.
I'm going to add to this. People who say it's animated, it's for kids. Fuck you.
Yeah. Same people. Yeah. Basic.
And another thing.
All of you people.
People who say that a game isn't any good unless it's open world.
I'm sorry guys.
People who start a podcast about computer games. God, fuck those people.
And people who say that a game is too short. Fuck you.
People who say a game is too long.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I didn't realise we had a category of things.
Screens just go out. Like.
I'm off.
All right. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
You go first.
I played an interesting game this year called Shiny Piece of Paper Simulator, and that kept me very entertained.
In VR.
Yeah, in VR.
Oh my god, you'd be great at the final round of Crystal Maze.
Yes.
Wow.
No, I didn't play that many games from this year, as is the usual. And I sort of feel like probably Infinite deserves it, but I haven't been home since the campaign came out, so I haven't been able to play that. And I haven't played that much of the multiplayer, and I feel like it probably would be that. I just haven't had time to do that. So I think it has to go to 12 minutes, which I had like the best experience with. Like I say, just having everyone gather around. I don't think it's the best game of the year, but it's the one that I played that I had the most interesting gaming experience with. It has a lot of flaws. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, but like I say, I do think for the experience that I had of it, that has to take my game of the year.
Totally fine.
Good show.
When I streamed that game, and you know, in the same way you had Bronwyn and your friend there, like going through that game with chat and being like, right, what am I trying this time?
Exactly,
Try the phone, but stay in the cupboard.
Yeah.
And make sure you put the light switch just the once so that happens. And then phone this person together. And I'm like, yes, okay.
It's got this great ability to allow everyone to join in. Because it's very clear what's happening. It's very clear what your options are. It's very clear to if someone says, try this, if they don't understand like what's going on, you can say, "Oh well, it didn't work. It doesn't work because of this one." You know, it's just very clear what's happening, so everyone can join in.
And there's no consequences to get to like trying something and it not working because it just restarts after 12 minutes. You know,
nice.
like literally. And really good choice, really nice choice. It was that close to being on my list as well.
No, I really appreciate that just because it's wild. And I do want to play it. It's still on my Xbox. I just haven't got around to it. There's so many other things. But it is there. I'm very excited.
What do you think?
Say again?
What do you think?
About life?
Game of the year.
Oh, Game of the Year! Oh, let's talk about that.
Do you forget we were doing the Game of the Year podcast?
Well, we were talking so much about just telling people to fuck off. I got swept away with the emotion
live right now? I'm sorry.
My Game of the... So I'll try and keep it as brief as possible because I want to talk about like a bunch of games, but like really quickly. Really enjoyed Mario 3D World. We mentioned this earlier just because the Bowser's Fury of it all.
Yeah.
That was really good. Although I did enjoy Mario 3D World as a game because I hadn't played it, and that was really fun to play with Rosie. That was genuinely a lot of fun, and it's probably the most fun Mario game I've had as a multiplayer experience, I think, because I just got to play with Rosie and she really enjoyed it. But Bowser's Fury was genuinely cool, and it's a really good look into what Mario could be like. Same as you, I got Halo Infinite down here. I am really enjoying the campaign. I haven't really played multiplayer because I haven't had much time, and if I'm going to play a game, it's more likely to be a single player campaign that I could just take my time with because I just don't have much time right now, and I don't want to have to like play a game and then be forced to play like 10, 20 minutes, like even if I'm going to play for 5 minutes. And I've been doing that with Halo Infinite, literally been dipping in and out all the time. And it's
if I see you on Halo and I'm online and I invite you, would you play multiplayer with me?
Potentially, yeah. It more likely after next week. After next week, I'll definitely play some multiplayer. It's just right now because I'm still working 6 days a week. Like I have so little time, so whenever I do play Halo Infinite, it's like I'm gonna play the single player campaign. What I've played so far, it's awesome. Genuinely, it might have been my game of the year if I'd had more time to play it. But I've only had a chance. I played like 5 hours, so I don't really feel I can give it to because there's other games that have stuck with me more. Psychonauts 2 is another one really enjoyed. I don't want to say I can't really say much more than what you said. I didn't enjoy it as much as you, but I still really loved it, and it is on my list.
What problems did you have with it?
I didn't really have any problems with it. It was just it
didn't grip you.
It didn't. It was. I was like, oh, this is great. Really like the story, but it just didn't. Like you loved it, and I liked it, and I think that was just the difference.
Sure.
I think that was the difference, really. The three I was going to talk about really quickly. Metroid Dread is in the top 3. I don't know where it would sit. I do have one, and I'll get to that. But Metroid Dread, I loved it. I played Fusion, I mentioned earlier, and I as like a way to get into the series, and I was like, holy shit, I can play Metroidvanias. I always thought I couldn't. But I can, and I really enjoyed it. And Metroid Dread.
How's that Super Metroid playthrough coming?
Not very well.
Hey, 2022, stream it.
Yeah.
Stream it, 2022.
That's one
just
of my
add
hopes.
it to the pile of what's happening in 2022. There's so many. But Metroid Dread, I loved it. Like everything. I can't really say much more than what Dav Weeks has already said. It was epic in every sense of the word, and same as Dav Gape as well. Actually, like you talked about the dread of it all. It was genuinely like the enemies are genuinely terrifying when you first fight them, and you can't get the timing right. After a while, you get the timing right. It's fine, but the two games I'm going to come down to Deathloop. Deathloop is awesome. One of the coolest games I've ever played. Genuinely one of the coolest shooters I've ever played. Possibly the coolest first-person shooter I've ever played. And that's just more to do with the setting rather than anything else. Obviously, like the whole loop aspect is just really cool and really interesting. And it was so much fun. It's so much fun. But I'm going to go with Hitman 3.
Yeah.
Hitman 3 is my game of the year. Like I said earlier, I don't know if I think it's because it does take itself seriously, but then also it doesn't, and the silliness of it all, like the fact that it has both sides to it, and it knows it has both sides to it. It is serious. Like you are killing people, and that's a very obviously terrible thing. But then you do it you can do it in a clown outfit. And by throwing like a rubber duck at someone's head so they fall into a pool that's been electrified. I mean,
it's a little bit Looney Tunes, yeah.
I mean, it's just everything about it. Like Hitman 3 is my favorite one in the series as well. Just because there's a couple of levels that I just think are just sensational. The Dartmoor level where you're in the mansion with a family that are rowing and it's basically like Knives Out is just amazing. The one where you go to a winery in Argentina and you can squish people in like massive machines that's supposed to squish grapes is hilarious. Just Hitman 3. Hitman 3, that's my game of the year.
Lovely.
Great show.
That's it. We're done. That is. Does anyone have anything they want to add?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It occurred to me when Zach had a personal gaming moment of the year. I suppose I have a personal gaming moment of the year. Is that for the first time this year, I've actually contributed to the making of a video game that got released, and that was pretty damn cool. Like,
absolutely.
So, like, I record sound for movies usually, and I've got them off the bottom shelf of Asda, and they're usually pretty terrible. But as a result, I can go on IMDb and read the shit reviews, which is sometimes quite fun to do. But because I recorded the sound on this game, Bloodshaw, I got to watch people playing it on Twitch for the first time, and that's weird, man. And then so I haven't bought the game. I feel like I don't have to because I've watched it been played 500 times now with people playing it, and it's really interesting seeing people reacting to it in real time for stuff that I remember shooting, I remember filming and recording the sound for.
Yeah. And you're in it, aren't you?
And I'm in it.
Yeah, you're in it.
You're in the. I saw you in the trailer.
Yeah, I made the trailer. We filmed my contribution in approximately an hour, and I turn up quite a lot. It's a bit weird. But it's been lovely seeing people playing it. And everyone appreciating the tongue-in-cheekness of it and kind of enjoying it, I don't think it's going to be anyone's game of the year. But people have liked it, and people are playing it, and it is fun.
It was a good buzz when that game came out.
Yeah, and it's lovely.
Twitter was hyped about Bloodshaw, man.
Yeah, so that's been a first. That's been a big moment, and let's see if I can get some more contributions into video games. Maybe not purely just in movie multiple choice FMV games. We'll see.
Man,
that was a good one.
That's actually a really lovely way to end the podcast as well, because that's such a cool thing to do as well. Try and think of a game that wouldn't be improved by a grappling hook. I'll wait.
Tetris. No, wait, that'll absolutely
that would be
so good.
The grappling hook. I'll be honest.
Great.
That is also a good chat. But that's it. That's the end of the podcast number 79. 79! What?
We're nearly at 2 years.
Yeah.
80 next time.
Yeah, we are nearly at 2 years. That's crazy.
And our first podcast in 2022 will be our predictions episode.
It will be.
So we're going to recap last year's predictions and then make loads of predictions for next year. And oh my god, chicken patty. 2,000
chicken patty cheered 2,000.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas
to you, chicken patty.
It's raining bits.
Yeah, that is just lovely. I still have my little Among Us toy.
Yeah.
Just the toy.
Mine's here.
It's just over there.
I used one in a TikTok.
Really?
That got 80,000 views.
That's amazing.
Yeah, hilarious.
Oh yeah, Bronwyn's like a TikTok star, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bronwyn's a TikToker.
Sensation, some might say.
TikToker.
TikTok. But yeah, so I had to make a little. I made one just for jokes, and then I used my little. I sent it to Chicken Patty. Actually, I sent the video because I thought
that's genuinely amazing.
Mainly because you made that.
Yeah. Send us the video.
I'll send you boys. I'll send it. Put it into the Discord.
But yeah,
yes, please.
Dav, Gabe, what were you saying? You were saying next year, the first episode.
Yes, first episode is going to be the predictions episode. So I'm gonna have to go through our predictions episode from last year, find out all the things we got wrong, and the one thing that Dav Weeks got right, which is the Super Mario MMO. And we're going to make a bunch of predictions for next year. We're going to discuss whether or not we're going to see IO Interactive's James Bond game. We're going to see maybe Machine Games' Indiana Jones game. When is Bobby Kotick going to get fired?
And we're going to have shot out of a cannon into the sun as well. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Plenty of predictions to come in January, and come back for it.
But I think that was well put, and we'll finish there. Thank you to everyone for listening and watching throughout the year. It's been a good year. It's been a quick year. I don't know how you
it's been a quick year.
It's gone very quickly. Maybe that's just because I've been working 6 days a week, and now
that helps.
That does help. But
just think, Hitman 3 came out in February.
I know that's
10 months ago.
I know. It's mad. But yeah, but there will be no more podcasts for the rest of the year. I mean, that's only like 2 weeks, so it's fine. But we'll be back in about 3 weeks. We're gonna have a nice little break. I think well deserved. We're gonna play some games. Maybe we'll do some streaming. I did say to
I might if I have time. Yeah.
Might try.
We're gonna do one.
We can stream something and like maybe we can stream Halo as well.
I might even start streaming again. Ooh. I might even throw a stream onto Video Games Ahoy. Who knows? Ooh. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, dabble in streaming. Maybe we'll get back into it. But I know ACP is shut the front door. We'd like to get back to that. Yeah, let's just stop it there. Thanks, gents. It's been an absolute pleasure. And it's been really nice just talking about games from the year. That's just been really nice. Thanks again to everyone. And we'll see you next year.
Merry Christmas.
Ahoy.
Bye.